Hi, divine people. Today I want to talk to you about fear and the opportunity it truly holds for us. Now, fear is, as many of you have heard, false evidence appearing real. And what I know is the things that we fear the most are the things that we call into our field. And so, anything that we push away too hard or pull at too hard, we create resistance to we create resistance. And so any kind of resistance is going to come up over and over again until we learn how to be non-attached and not respond. And it makes me think of the cartoon, the Avatar. And there's an episode where they have to go into the dream world and face this being with many faces. And the only way that you can survive an encounter with this being is if you do not react. So that means no judgment, no freaking out, creating a stanza, creating a presence of being in neutrality with something extremely scary. Now, apply this to real life and it holds the key for your truest potential, because things come up in the form of fear, and that fear, the only intention behind that is not to hold you back. It's to help you break free. When you go through something that is so terrifying and you come out on the other end, you know that you are unshakable after that. And even if you're shaking, you can still walk through the fire. So yea, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Now, evil is everywhere. I mean, I really can't talk about Greg Braden enough. I am one of his biggest fans, and it's because of his scientific approach to spirituality. And what he found, he went into the science of the Dead Sea Scrolls. I had no idea that the Dead Sea Scrolls were found in the 40s. However, they were not released to us until I think the 90s, 1991. And one of his friends were one of the people, Greg Braden, that were at the forefront fighting for that to become public knowledge. And why is this so important? It's important because the Bible has been manipulated, and whether you want to call it intentional or not, through the translations, right? King James Version means it's the one that King James approved of, right? And so the American Bible is the American translation of the Bible. However, so many things were taken out before, and we didn't know about it until the Dead Sea Scrolls, because that was one of the oldest documentations of the Bible. And so we found, one of the first things that it talked about actually was the spiritual war that has been since the beginning of time. And, it talks about the fallen angels, or I forget what they used. It was dark men or something, the men of the night. I don't know what it was. And it was not that women weren't included. It was just that they didn't see gender as the way we did. And so everybody was man, right? Part of human. And so with that said, there is a spiritual war, and the tool of darkness is fear, distraction, and anything that keeps you from your divinity. And so what is your divinity? Your divinity is the expression of your true potential. And so anything that holds you back from your truest potential is considered evil in the sacred scroll, the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? And again, these are the oldest texts with the raw translation of the Bible that hasn't been filtered and manipulated. And so with that said, I am just so grateful for this opportunity now to fully express everything that I am. And I know there are so many people that are in relationships that hinder their potential. And, you know, more power to you. I trust you're going to break free if this is what's meant to be for you in this lifetime, right? I really believe in Dr. Samuel B's freedom teachings. They will help anyone break free of any kind of illusion and false matrix programming that keeps you small, keeps you feeling weak, keeps you feeling depleted, keeps you feeling stressed. And why is it important? Like, stress doesn't, if we are emotional or stressed, guess what? We're not using the full capacity of our brain. We're only using the reptilian, the base part of our brain, which is the fight and freeze response, right? So fight, freeze. And if that's all you have, then you're not going to really reach your potential, because you don't have the capacity to use your frontal lobe to problem solve, to think, and to imagine, and to feel something outside of your reality. And manifesting, really, creation is about being able to imagine, and feel that essence of whatever it is you're imagining. And when you can do that, you become a vibrational match for all that you're seeking. And so without our imagination, without our creativity, we are then limited. And so ideas around not being able to do art, or not being creative, or not having not being able to make a decision by yourself, for yourself, all of these things are limiting your experience. And so I'm really good at limiting myself. I have been in the past, and now I choose to be really good at breaking through perceived limitations. And let me tell you, today was one of those days that, a lot is going on in my life. My son is dealing pretty intensely with this spiritual war, right? And he is a nonverbal, autistic 22-year-old, and many people know, and that have nonverbal kids, especially autistic, that they have a spiritual realm to them that is just really, something that we're not used to experiencing yet. And so if you don't know much about this, I highly recommend the telepathy tapes, and it goes into detail on these super abilities with these incredible beings. However, on the one hand, they have these hyper spiritualized capacity. On the other hand, they also are major targets for evil beings. And so I firmly believe a lot of these behaviors, a lot of the random outbursts and aggressiveness that comes out of seemingly nowhere, are tied to these evil beings. And so my son's going through it, and I have a metaphysical doctor and a quantum healer, and I'm also a healer myself. So he has 3 powerful beings supporting him. And unlike in 2023, when this first started happening, I got angry and felt like it shouldn't be me. Like, I'm this queen of positivity. I'm doing so much good in the world. Why are these bad things happening? Well, it was a part of his journey. And because I judged it, I got stuck in a loop for years with it. Now, if we can face our fears and accept them and choose a higher ground, accept them means we're neutral. I'm not condoning it. I'm not denouncing it. And so it's that neutrality that's required to look at it in its face and move forward. So today, I worked on everything I could for him spiritually. I got his team together, and I decided to move forward with my day. Instead of letting it cripple me, instead of letting it hold me back, I chose the empowered road. And while I know that I have no control over how long this is going to last. What I do know is that I can control how I'm responding to these situations. And just by being in a state of absolute knowing that the divine is in everyone, every place, and every situation, I feel confident knowing that my son will get through this. And so instead of adding more resistance to the breakthrough, I'm adding energy and power to his breakthrough. How am I doing that? By believing in the good in him, by believing in the divinity within him. That's how I'm doing it. Instead of saying, why me? Or this shouldn't be, or how, for me, I was like, at first, I was in my head, without even being conscious, I'm like, this dude is helpless. How could this happen to him? Not realizing that he is spiritually way more evolved than I am. He just physically doesn't appear that way. However, appearances, I also believe, aren't always accurate. And I know that most people live their life by their 5 senses, but we have way more senses than just the 5. And this is being documented at an astronomical rate, both in quantum physics and in different type of scientific communities. And so we are all interconnected, and we all have Yahweh embedded into every single one of our cells, which means we have infinite potential within us. And so I just chose to go on the path of believing in his infinite potential. And, I went on my day. I did what I normally would do. And I kept sending him love. I kept sending him affirmations, communicating telepathically with him. And I'm really excited because I truly believe that he's going to break through this in the most dramatic way. Because he's fully empowered. He is fully whole. And he has a whole team of guides working with him as well. Not talking about the physical people that I added to his team, the spiritual team that he already has, right? I'm choosing trust this route. I'm not going to be afraid. Am I a warrior? Heck yeah, right? So I'm bringing him in every morning and every evening with my prayers and activations and meditations. And he's allowing me to work on him in ways that he never allowed me to do before. And what I mean by that is, even if we have someone that's nonverbal, we have to ask permission with their higher self. And Marianne really did not allow me to do a whole lot before. He wasn't very willing. But now that his higher self understands or knows that I honor it, I honor him, I'm allowed to do work that I wasn't able to before. And I'm also doing my work in total calm assurance. And why this matters is because if you get too excited, you produce a frequency. Excitement and fear are this similar vibration, right? And they're both pretty depleting. But when you have a calm assurance, you move a little bit differently. You walk a little bit slower. You are not in a rush. You are calm and you are fully assured. And it took me 5 years to understand what calm assurance was. Even though I had been reading The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles over and over again, which talks about the requirement of a calm assurance to really call in that vision to manifest and create to our, infinite potential. I just am finally embodying it. And so I'm really grateful because we can choose to have fun and to be calm no matter what chaos is being presented in the 3-dimensional world. And I will assure you that this is how we quantum leap. There's no need to freak out. There's no need to, get angry or resentful. I'm embracing it because this is a part of our destiny. And whatever is a part of my destiny, whatever is a part of his destiny, is shaping us to be the strongest, most divine vessels that we can possibly be. And from that knowing, I can accept whatever is. And this is the same principle has been applied to finances, to business, to my fitness, to every aspect of my life. And so I just wanted to share a little bit with you. All right, well, thank you so much for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe below. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely day.